You can't claim you're sovereign and then claim rights under the Constitution. That's not how it works. No, that is not how it works.
The sovereign citizen begins by rejecting the court's authority, claiming he is not bound by the United States Constitution or jurisdiction. This is a classic sovereign citizen tactic, where they believe that by refusing to acknowledge the name on the docket, they can somehow escape legal responsibility. The judge, however, is quick to clarify that the system does not operate this way. You cannot deny citizenship and still claim rights under the very Constitution you reject. This contradiction highlights the flawed logic at the heart of the sovereign movement. They want the protections of law without the responsibilities that come with it. In practice, this simply leads to wasted court time and frustration for everyone present. The defendant believes he is being clever, but in reality, he is undermining his own defense before it has even begun. The courtroom is not a place for fantasy legal theories. It runs on established law and precedent.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. What's your name, sir?
If I can help you.
I'm Williams L.
Yes, Your Honor, but the defendant is identified in the docket as Michael Williams. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's the name they're calling me, but
Okay.
I'm Williams L.
I understand.
Michael Williams. Okay.
No,
Mr.
I'm not
Williams, I'm
Michael
asking-
Williams, Your Honor.
Okay.
I am Williams
Okay.
L.
When the court identifies the defendant as Michael Williams, he insists his name is Williams L., not the one listed on the docket. Sovereign citizens often claim separation between the legal name and their true self, believing this makes them immune from charges. The judge quickly rejects this argument, stating that the proceedings must continue under the name on the official documents. The refusal to identify is not clever resistance. It is self-sabotage. Courts rely on record keeping, and denying the record doesn't make it disappear. By refusing to cooperate, the defendant essentially ensures harsher consequences, such as active warrants being continued. This exchange demonstrates how sovereign strategies collapse under the weight of legal reality. The law deals in facts, not beliefs. While the defendant thinks he is asserting independence, he is actually isolating himself from any chance of fair resolution.
Okay. So here's the thing, Williams L. I have to call you what's on the documents that I have present for me in court today. We can either handle it that way, or you don't have to handle it, and then it just will be like you didn't show up to court today.
No,
So it's
Your
either
Honor,
way,
I'm just
but I
letting
have
you
to
know
call
who I. Your Honor, I'm just letting you know who I am.
Okay.
I am Williams
That's fine.
L. I am not Michael Williams. They kept calling me Michael Williams. I told them who I was. I am a sovereign, Moorish American. I'm not a United States citizen, Negro, Black, or colored, Your Honor.
Okay. So let me tell you, Mr. Williams, this is the last time I'm gonna say it. This is all I have for you. If you don't want to handle it under that name today, then I have to act as if you aren't present. And so that's fine. But I
You
have
say
to
what?
call
Hold
you
on.
that document, okay?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that, Your
I
Honor?
said, if we can't handle those matters and those tickets that's on that case under that name, then that's fine. But it's going to be as if you didn't appear for court today because I have.
Ma'am, I'm here. I'm here today, ma'am.
Right. So I'm just saying when I
Williams
call those
L is here
documents-
today. I'm
Did
just
you-
letting you know
Hold
who
on,
I
Mr.
am,
Williams.
ma'am.
The defendant now identifies himself as a Moorish American and claims he is not a U.S. citizen, black, or under the court's jurisdiction. He treats nationality as a shield, believing it exempts him from the law. Unfortunately for him, nationality does not erase responsibility for actions within a jurisdiction. If you drive without insurance, a suspended license, or break noise ordinances, you are subject to penalties regardless of what you call yourself. The judge patiently explains that if he refuses to appear under the docket name, the court must treat it as non-appearance. Still, he insists on this illogical position. This is where sovereign citizens confuse belief with legal authority. Saying I am not under jurisdiction does not make it true. Jurisdiction is established by presence, action, and law, not personal declarations. His refusal is less about legal truth and more about misguided defiance.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I am Williams
Okay.
L.
So that's fine. When I call it on the record, I'm going to have to call it on the record as the name on the ticket, just so you know. Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna let you know that I'm Williams L. Okay, I'm cool
That's
with
fine.
that, and I'm letting you know who I am. I'm a
Okay.
Moorish American.
Okay. Did you want to
Sovereign.
offer? Okay. Did you want to offer for it or no? Are you gonna try and have, I need to kind of know where you're going. Are you gonna want a trial? Are you gonna try and like, wanna?
No, I do not agree. I do not agree to none of this. I'm sovereign.
Okay, so if you're not gonna participate, we're just gonna act like you're not here today, and I'm going to go ahead and.
I am here today, ma'am. You seeing me right here? That's on record.
Listen, just because you show up doesn't mean that you're here. You have to participate, okay?
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign. I'm letting you know who I am.
Listen,
I'm participating. I do not agree.
Mr. Williams, that's fine, but if you don't participate, saying you're a sovereign doesn't help me.
The defendant insists that simply showing up counts as participation, while the judge clarifies that true participation requires engagement with the process. This highlights a key misunderstanding among sovereign citizens. They confuse physical presence with legal action. Courts require clear statements, pleas, and cooperation to move cases forward. By refusing, the defendant forces the judge to treat him as absent, despite being in the room. This absurd paradox shows how sovereign beliefs trap people in legal limbo. They think they are resisting, but they are only prolonging the inevitable. The law is designed to function with or without their consent. You cannot derail the process by refusing to participate. Instead, you simply lose the chance to defend yourself properly. His stubbornness only strengthens the court's decision to keep his warrants active. In the end, refusal is not power. It is weakness disguised as protest.
I'm just letting you know who I am. That's violating a constitutional right, man.
So do you want an offer or not? That's my question.
Do I want a what?
An offer to the tickets or not?
Do I want to? I can't understand. You said, do I want to offer?
Do you want an offer? Do you want to try and resolve this today as far as?
Yes, I do want to resolve it. I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. So you can, I'm not going to.
I'm speaking for myself. I have no attorney, so I'm speaking for myself. I asked for this case to be dismissed. You're violating my constitutional right.
How do you have constitutional rights if you're not a citizen?
I'm not a United States citizen.
So how are you entitled to constitutional rights of citizens?
The defendant demands constitutional rights, while simultaneously denying citizenship. The judge points out the contradiction. If he rejects citizenship, how can he claim rights reserved for citizens? This is a logical trap that sovereign citizens create for themselves. They argue against the government's authority but expect government protections. The irony is striking. Even non-citizens in the U.S. do enjoy certain protections, such as due process, but these are not the full rights of citizenship. The defendant wants the best of both worlds without accepting the obligations of either. The judge exposes this hypocrisy, asking the crucial question, how can you demand rights from a system you claim doesn't apply to you? Sovereign citizens never have a clear answer because their entire framework is built on contradiction. In the end, the law recognizes consistency, not selective loyalty.
You got to uphold to the sovereign, sir. You can't. I'm not United States citizen. I'm not Negro, black, or color. You're not under I'm not under your jurisdiction.
I understand, but my question to you is, if you want to rely on your constitutional rights, how do you have constitutional rights if you're denying your citizenship?
Yeah, because I'm American. I'm a national.
I get
I'm
it,
a Moorish American. I'm not United States citizen corporate. I'm a Moorish American. I'm an American national.
Okay, but you're still present in this jurisdiction, right?
I just asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction. That's it.
The defendant repeatedly demands dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. He believes his mere declaration is enough to strip the court of power. The judge denies the motion, making it clear that jurisdiction is established by law, not by personal opinion. In reality, jurisdiction is one of the most settled concepts in law. If you are physically present within a state and break its laws, the court has jurisdiction over you. Sovereign citizens like to reference outdated or misinterpreted cases, claiming they prove immunity. But courts across the country have ruled countless times that these arguments hold no legal weight. The refusal to accept jurisdiction only ensures the case drags on with no progress. Instead of addressing charges, the defendant wastes his opportunity to negotiate or defend himself. It is a performance for ideology, not a strategy for freedom. Sadly, He doesn't realize he is digging his own grave in the process.
I don't want no attorney. I can speak for myself. I'm not a minority.
Right.
What am I doing here?
He can represent himself. Don't worry about it. You put
I can
yourself on
speak
record.
for myself.
All right.
I'm speaking
Now
for
calling the
myself.
matters
Y'all
of the
violating my
people.
rights. That's a
Now I'm
sovereign.
calling the matters of the people versus Michael Williams. This is ticket number SP 1212334. Count 1, use loudspeaker without permission or unreasonable noise. Count 2, drove while license suspended. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Sir, please state your name for the record.
The defendant refuses legal counsel, insisting he can represent himself. While this is a right, it is rarely wise, especially when the defendant has no real legal knowledge. Lawyers are trained to navigate legal complexities, file motions correctly, and protect the client's rights. Sovereign citizens believe their pseudo-legal theories are enough, but they quickly get lost in procedure. Hey, the defendant keeps repeating, "I am Williams L." instead of addressing charges. The judge tries to clarify, but the defendant only spirals deeper into meaningless declarations. Without counsel, he has no one to explain the reality of his situation or negotiate favorable terms. Representing yourself requires discipline, knowledge, and respect for the process. This man has none of these qualities, which leaves him defenseless. What he sees as strength is actually helplessness. His stubborn pride ensures he cannot move forward in any meaningful way.
I am Williams L.
All right. Sir,
I don't have a name. I have a title.
This is the date and time set for an arraignment on a bench warrant. Do you want to participate in these proceedings?
Yes, I'm here on special appearance. I'm just letting you know who I am.
All right. So how would you like to move forward with this matter, sir?
I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
All right. That motion has been denied. How would you like to move forward on these matters?
I just told you what I would like it, so I don't know. I'm just here on
So it's
special
been
appearance.
denied. So you can either participate today.
I am participating. I'm here.
The proceedings continue as the judge reads the charges: unreasonable noise, driving with a suspended license, and no insurance. Instead of addressing the charges, the defendant insists again that he is sovereign and not subject to statutes. This refusal creates a deadlock. The judge cannot proceed because the defendant will not engage in the basic process of entering a plea. The courtroom becomes a cycle of nonsense, with the defendant making the same claim over and over. This shows the futility of sovereign defenses. They do not engage with facts or evidence. The law operates on clarity, but sovereign arguments are built on confusion. By denying the system, he only traps himself further inside it. The court, bound by procedure, eventually rules that he has failed to appear on behalf of the docketed name. His performance accomplishes nothing except reinforcing the active warrant against him. On the following day, the defendant reappears, this time declaring he is under common law and not statutory law. This is a common sovereign myth. They believe there is a secret separation between common law and corporate law that exempts them from accountability. The judge carefully explains that by driving on public roads, he is already submitted to state law. Statutory law governs traffic, insurance, and licensing. It is not optional. The defendant refuses to accept this, insisting again that statutes don't apply. The comedy of this moment is in the sheer denial of reality. You cannot pick and choose which laws apply to you. If you participate in society, you accept the rules of that society. His attempt to invoke common law is just another recycled argument that has failed in countless other courts. Yet sovereign citizens cling to it as if it were a magic key to freedom. Clip 9. The judge gives the defendant one last chance to make a decision. Accept counsel, accept a deal, or proceed to trial. Instead, the defendant repeats his sovereignty claims and refuses all options. The judge, with no other path available, rules that the matter will return to warrant status. This is the inevitable outcome of sovereign strategies. By refusing to cooperate, they ensure no resolution. The charges remain, the warrants remain, and their lives become increasingly difficult. Sovereign citizens see this as a victory of principle, but in reality, it is self-destruction. The court cannot bend to fantasy. It can only operate on law, evidence, and procedure. By refusing to engage, the defendant guarantees that his problems only grow worse. The courtroom drama ends not with triumph, but with a predictable collapse. Sovereign ideology once again proves powerless against the steady weight of legal reality.